How's it going, fifth graders? Yes, that's right. It's Mr. Passafume here, coming to you live, and this is another science video test review. Today we're going to be talking about plant transport systems. Okay, so this is all about how plants transport minerals, food, water, carbon dioxide, how they release oxygen, how do they move all of the things that they need to move inside of the plant. Okay, so I guess might as well start here. Well, let's talk about the roots. There's definitely lots of different kinds of roots, and you can see that in your science book on page 86, but we're just going to be focusing on what their main function is. Their main function, as you can see in your notes, is to absorb water, absorb minerals from the ground. We talked about how the minerals get into the soil, either by decomposers breaking down dead animals, or sometimes animals, they eat stuff and then they poop it out and then it lands into the soil, and so minerals get into the soil that way. So the plant is sucking up some of those minerals that are in the soil. The roots also store food, and the roots also anchor the plant into the ground. If the wind is blowing or whatever, the roots kind of keep it stabilized into the ground. Or if the water is rushing too hard, same kind of thing. The roots are keeping it strong and grounded into the soil. Now, how exactly does the roots and the stems and some of these other tissues that we'll talk about here in a little bit, how does it actually move the water and the minerals up it? Well, inside of the roots and inside of the xylem and the phloem and inside of the leaves are things called cells. We talked about cells in chapter 1. Okay, so the cells are flowing in these tissues. Okay, cells make up tissues. So the cells act as like little cars that transport the water, the minerals, and all the other things that we talked, the food, and they are like cars, and they move the minerals and everything around to where they need to go. Okay, so kind of picture cells. It's like a freeway, and the cars, the cells are grabbing stuff, and then they're going up, and then new cells are grabbing stuff, and it's like a freeway. They're grabbing what they need and taking it where they need to go. Okay, so that's the roots. The stem, that's the main part of the plant, I guess, the middle part of it, and that's where the materials move up and down. Okay, that's where the xylem and the phloem are constantly moving things. The xylem, you can see over here, the xylem moves the water and the materials. Okay, so they get the water, not the materials, the minerals. They get the water and the materials from the soil and take it up to the rest of the plant. The phloem moves the sugar that was made in the leaves down to the rest of the plant. Okay? A good trick that we talked about in class that you can remember that the phloem moves the sugar is that sugar flows. Okay? The sugar flows. That's the best I could come up with. But the kids, they start laughing and everything, and they remember it that way. So just remember, the sugar flows. Okay, that was awkward, but keep paying attention. All right? So the phloem moves the sugar. The xylem moves the water and the minerals from the soil to the rest of the plant. The phloem, once again, flows the sugar to the rest of the plant. And the phloem is, you can see here, it's connected to the leaves. The leaves, that's where photosynthesis is done. So that's where they are going to pick up the sugar or the food that was made from photosynthesis. So the leaves, they take in carbon dioxide, they take in the solar energy, and they receive water from the xylem, and that's how sugar is made. We've talked about photosynthesis before, and you definitely learned that in 4th grade. And the leaves also release oxygen. Okay, that's why plants are really good for human beings, because they use carbon dioxide but release oxygen back into the air, and that definitely helps us because we breathe in oxygen. Now, if you look at the stem here, right in the middle that separates the xylem from the phloem is called the cambium. and that's where new phloem and new xylem tissues are made. I think that's pretty much it, actually. This is all about plant transport systems. Once again, how they move stuff around, and they do that by cells that are like little cars that grab what they need to grab, and they move it to the rest of the plant. So hopefully this test review helps you. If you have any questions, you can contact me on Edmodo, Facebook. You can go onto my classroom website. If you go down to the bottom where it says Contact Mr. P, you can actually type in and hit send, and it'll go to my cell phone. So there's lots of different tools. I look forward to seeing you guys in class, and I hope you do well on it.